Fire, 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 fire.
Little Big Tug. We like Big Tug around here. Tugging. With great power! Alright, let's do it. Netflix ruined everything. I have a lot to say about this. Not gonna lie, chat.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh.
And you have the power to sign up for extratug.com for exclusive perks and videos.
Extra
Check it out. Am I still upside down, Chris?
Ooh.
Please put me back up normal. My head's getting big. On a Friday in late September of 2023, Netflix sent out its very last DVD by mail.
Oh, wow. It's lasted that long?
People had one of two
I
reactions.
think that's such a sucky thing to do. Like, you can't have DVDs anymore. I genuinely think, like, old media needs to be preserved, bro. I bet some of you still have DVD players, like, that just lay around and you don't really use them.
They were either like me, still surprised that anyone was getting DVDs from Netflix anymore, or they were ever surprised that Netflix ever mailed out DVDs in the first place. Today we look at Netflix as a streaming platform and a major production company. They started humbly, renting billions of loose DVDs and red envelopes throughout the US mail. It was a business model that worked.
Amazon started out as a book company that would send out books to you. Netflix started out with sending out DVDs and stuff to you, and funnily enough, that's why they ran Blockbuster into the ground, because Netflix was like the one that pioneered it, kind of, or at least made it marketable enough that normies like were like, oh, this might seem like a good idea, and Blockbuster didn't follow suit, and that's why Blockbuster's dead.
Even though it is prehistoric by today's standards. In that way, Netflix is sort of a streaming equivalent of a young Gen Xer or elder millennial, meaning they're able to adapt to new technological trends, but every once in a while they say something weird like, I miss the taste of stamps, or I just found a Chuck E. Cheese coupon in my change drawer. Not coupon, token. Millennials suck. But despite the company's uniquely 20th century beginnings, Netflix has played a huge role in changing the way we consume and think about media in the 21st century. Tuglets, it's time to check your mailbox, because today we're going to Netflix and chill. It's crazy that Netflix and chill used to means have sex, but it's like you'd say Netflix and chill because Netflix was the only thing you had.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Now it's like Hulu and handjobs. When Netflix launched in
Bro, what?
1998, it was taking on Blockbuster, which at the time looked like unbeatable competition. Near the end of the millennium, the Blue movie rental giant had nearly 9,000 locations and made $3.89 million in annual revenue.
Yeah,
and a lot of that
it's a
money,
lot.
16% in fact, came from late rental fees. It's all about what's the word? Interest. It's all about interest. It's a pretty foreign concept today, but rental services used to charge for late returns. Blockbuster ruled with an iron fist. It was particularly ruthless when it came to their late fees. Up until the mid-2000s, you were charged the full rental price for each additional...
Dude, I remember one time my brother made me do the younger sibling kid slave chore and bring back the fucking DVDs instead of him, because my mom made him do it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it for you if I'll do it for you because I'm the good sister. And then I was like, okay. And he made sure to tell me that I needed to do it on time, or else.
Say the movie was late. Lazy or forgetful.
I think it was mostly for DVDs though. Like, we had VHS tapes, but we had a lot of DVDs too. Like, a lot.
Or dumb fans of movies could easily rack up hundreds of dollars in charges. And this is how Reed Hastings got the idea for Netflix. Reed is a big character in this story. Pay attention, jot that one down. In the mid-90s, he did what millions of red-blooded Americans did. He rented Apollo 13 from Blockbuster. And then he lost that. And then he was charged $40 in late fees, and he said, I'm gonna kill somebody, I gotta come up with an...
$40 back then is like, I wanna say like probably $60 now, which is an insane amount of money. For like one fucking little boo-boo.
Idea, and Netflix was that idea. While the story is company lore and most likely an oversimplification of a longer process, it still matters because it gets to the heart of what Netflix was actually up against. They weren't taking on Blockbuster as much as they were taking on a bloated industry that had stopped listening to its customers. Not only did Netflix entice customers right away by saying, you know those late fees that you no longer can put your child through college because you misplaced Mrs. Doubtfire? We don't do that. But in 1999, they rolled out a subscription service that allowed users to rent an unlimited number of DVDs for a flat fee. Nowadays, if a company produces something without... They
probably did not help piracy at all. I think pirates were so happy then.
subscription service, you would cry and weep in joy, but this was big for the time. While they first tested the idea of mailing DVDs back in 1997, they didn't even have an actual DVD lying around to mail, so to ensure a disc could survive the mail, they sent out a copy of Patsy Cline's greatest hits in a pink envelope. But a few short years later, after they really started hucking out those DVDs by postage service, they were the 5th largest consumer of the US mail. I didn't say that right. What am I supposed to say? They were the US Postal Service's 5th largest customer.
Wow.
I can't read or remember.
That's
Legend
crazy.
even has it that in 2000, Blockbuster turned down a chance to acquire Netflix for $50 million.
Oopsies.
A chance that the
whoopsie.
blue and yellow bitches would soon come to regret. So they started by mailing DVDs, which sounds incredibly outdated today.
And it was so arrogant how they did it too. They were like, "Oh no, VHS and renting is the future. This is just a fad. Oh, yeah, it's gonna bite you in the butt."
Netflix was always technically a tech company. From the very beginning, it was web-based. You went to their website and picked one of the movies from their unique catalog. And just like you get recommendations from clerks at rental stores, Netflix had its own recommendation engine based on your previous rental history. But this wasn't just recommending the latest Hollywood blockbuster with great reviews. It was tech that would lay the groundwork for the next era of media consumption. We're talking algorithms, baby. Netflix named this powerful algorithm Cinematch. And I'm a little upset because in parentheses, Jimmy wrote, note, this is pronounced Cinematch, not Sin Match. And I know I mispronounced shit, but I get cinema. I get the bit. God,
Cinematch.
sometimes you hurt my feelings, Jimmy. Debuting in 2000, Cinematch took 29,000 unique lines of code and the film ratings of 180 million users and turned it into a powerful, personalized recommendation machine. Unlike clerks at your local Blockbuster or reviews you would read in the paper.
Yeah, you're not relying on a person who doesn't even want to be there. Like, honestly, really smart.
That's right, people used to read things on paper. Could you imagine?
I know,
need my blue light or I will die. Cinematch was catering recommendations to your specific tastes. By avoiding the mass market and focusing on the individual customer, Netflix tapped into the possibilities of data personalization early on. In a way, Netflix became synonymous with its users.
And it keeps you on the website for longer. Ooh. Ooh.
Taste, whatever that may
where this
be.
is
Do you
going.
like feet? Quentin Tarantino. Do you not like feet? Scorsese? I don't know. There's not a really good other side of the coin to that. But a rental store like Blockbuster relied on the latest hits to make money, generating 80% of its rentals from just 200 titles at a time. Netflix, though, was the exact opposite. It made 80% of its revenue from 2,000 titles. So whether you were into action or horror or comedy or French New Wave, Netflix knew what you wanted to watch next. The way it worked was pretty simple. Cinematch would predict how many stars a user would rate a movie after watching it, and then re-optimize itself based on how accurate the prediction was. This meant smaller indie films could find their audience, like Christopher Nolan's Memento, which, crazy. This was so long before The Dark Knight, and the Memento, have you seen Memento? It's a really good film, but
No,
it's Christopher Nolan, and he was indie at the time. It only made about
I didn't even know that. I thought Christopher Nolan was always like really popular. Huh.
$25 million at the box office, but thanks to Cinematch, it became the 7th most rented movie of all time on Netflix.
Wow.
Relying on algorithms for recommendations is the benchmark of Netflix success. Even
Interesting.
today, upwards of 80% of Netflix...
No, it's not. It's a bad movie. I don't know. I heard about it. I never heard that it was bad.
Viewership is spent watching the streamer's recommendations. But even though they laid much of their groundwork in the early 2000s, the Netflix we know today started in 2000 when it launched its streaming service. Bum bum. The Netflix sound? Anyone? I don't know. That was more Law and Order. By this time, Netflix was considered a success and had already mailed out its billionth
Everyone's
DVD
allowed to
rental.
have
But
their
streaming had been
opinion.
part of the company's vision from the beginning. It just took a decade for the technology to catch up. At first, the streaming service was an add-on bonus for the DVD rentals. How old I am is that I remember the commercials for that. Ellen was involved somehow. Chris, good luck finding that. Probably isn't even real. I probably dreamt that. It launched with around 1,000 titles to stream, far below.
He did not find it. Where is it? I've searched far and wide. I'm convinced he made this up. He's probably memory holing. Your fucking brain is so weird when you make up shit. It'll literally like conjure things that do exist and mush them into one.
Probably dreamt that. It launched with around 1,000 titles to stream, far below the rental selection of 100,000 titles, but it was clear that this is where entertainment was heading. In just the first 3 years that Netflix offered streaming, it grew from 7.3 million to 18.3 million customers. Major studios, which had yet to launch their
That's
own
a
streaming
lot.
platforms, thank God, were more likely to send their first-run movies to cable channels after they left theaters. This arrangement meant Netflix was often signing deals with independent studios while also distributing low-budget indie movies. But in 2008, Netflix negotiated a deal with Starz. You guys know Starz. Sometimes it's on your TCL TV remote and everyone's
No. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Like, hey, what the f is Stars? They used to have little animated rabbits that would like do movies in 1 minute. Chris, once again, just put up a picture of what I'm talking about so people don't think I'm insane. But this gave them access to
I literally have no clue. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I have literally no idea.
Approximately 2,500 movies and TV shows. Stars had
Resident Evil DVD!
Licensed from Disney and Columbia. Titles like Ratatouille or Superbad, the most opposite two movies ever said in a sentence. This immediately doubled their streaming content and helped Netflix gain a foothold in the very early days of streaming. And in 2010, they secured another deal with the channel's, what the f is it? Epics? A lot of dead companies in the story. But that gave them access to films by Paramount, Lionsgate, and MGM. At this point, major studios didn't really see Netflix as a competitor at all. But since Netflix was just a handful of one of the early streaming sites, the fact that they had major films like Iron Man helped sway consumers' perception right away. Leveraging these deals with its powerful recommendation algorithm, Netflix's homepage became a major player in the world of entertainment. But it wouldn't be long before Netflix had to pivot again.
Yep.
Ooh. The deal.
Yeah, HBO used to just be like a cable show, right? Like where they would have shows that people would, you know, not publish, but you know, like I don't know what the word is, but when you have a IP, you want to show a show, and HBO's like, yeah, we'll give you the rights, we'll play it on our channel. Yeah, you have to subscribe to it.
With Stars wasn't renewed. What are we gonna do without Stars?
Now
The Bunny Rabbits. But this was because legacy media companies grew increasingly concerned over cord cutting and became more judicious with their IP. Adding to the mix were companies like Hulu, which were breaking into the streaming game. And if you weren't there for the early days of Hulu, you didn't understand what life was. It was free. You could watch anything for free.
Bro, I just can't help but feel like it's so sad how unshittified we are. Did you know Crunchyroll used to be an anime pirating website? That's so crazy. I grew up with this. I didn't know what Hulu was. I don't know. I guess I just didn't encounter it on my side of the internet, but like, that sounds so fucking cool.
Once again,
Why am I paying them? Because, dear customer, go fuck yourself. We have this service, and you need to pay us for the service.
Be wrong about that. I remember
had no idea it was fucking free. I always thought it was paid.
Logging onto Hulu and watching shit without a subscription. And also, South Park on the Comedy Central website used to just put up every episode for free. No ads.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone survived. But even though they had all but vanquished Blockbuster, which
because the internet was really slow back then, and people could only watch like a little bit. I feel like people just didn't have the ability to, if I had to guess.
filed for bankruptcy in 2010, Netflix knew the only way to stay ahead in the streaming wars was to beat the competition at their own game. So they set their sights on a new rival, HBO. Stands for Home Box Office, if you didn't know that. And finally decided to go toe-to-toe with them in the final arena, their own content, making movies. I don't know. In 2010s, Jeff Bukes, the head of HBO's parent company, Time Warner, scoffed at the threat of Netflix. He said, and I'm gonna give it an arrogant voice because obviously he f***ed up here, it's a little bit like asking, is the Albanian army gonna take over the world? I don't think so. Now,
what's this guy hate on Albanians for? Yo, is he Balkan? Is that why he hates them so much?
Now, may I give a little props to the Albanian army? They were the only European country during the Nazis to liberate themselves from the Nazis. So, you, Bukes. But anyway, it was clear that Hollywood bigwigs had no idea what Netflix was bringing. When it was announced that an American remake of the BBC series House of Cards was in the works, which I didn't know was a BBC series personally, I'm a little American boy in his farm town. But every network was clamoring to get their hands on it. Not only was director David Fincher producing the show, but A-listers Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright were the stars. This was the early 2010s. Kevin Spacey, well, he was doing bad shit, but no one knew about it yet. Or a lot of people knew about it, but no one was saying anything. Hollywood's disgusting. Netflix decided to go against the grain, and instead of taking a pitch meeting from producers about the show, they pitched Netflix to the producers. Basically, it was an offer too good to refuse. Ayo, Italian. Before they even filmed the pilot, Netflix committed $100 million to the show and agreed to a second season. On top of that, they promised to not give one note to David Fincher, pretty much giving him full control of the show, which I'm pretty sure is pretty rare in Hollywood. This type of deal was unheard of, and not even HBO could compete with it. So in 2013, House of Cards debuted on Netflix. And there was one last wrinkle to roll out. All of the episodes debuted at once.
Generational TV show.
Which was so weird. This is yet another example of Netflix leveraging user data to change how we consume media. They found that a lot of customers liked binge watching TV shows. And back in the day, you had to sit and wait around. Actually, now you have to do that again. I don't know why they...
Yes, getting some slop, sitting down, binge watching, falling asleep. Are you there yet? Did you fall asleep?
Changed that, but Netflix was like, no, full plate, eat, go, buffet. I mean, of course, at the time, this was impossible to do with new shows, which were released every week, but what if they weren't? It was a wild proposition to people in the entertainment industry, and it also makes me feel like I could be a genius CEO. Seems like all you have to do to disrupt an industry is just to do the opposite, you know? At least that's what Netflix did when they released all 13 episodes of House of Cards at once. That year, House of Cards received 9 Emmy nominations, becoming the first streaming-only service to receive nominations. And with that, Netflix became more of a little streamer bitch service. They became one of the biggest television and movie production companies
this is the monster it's going to become.
The world. One that fundamentally changed the way we interact with content. On the heel of House of Cards, we got Orange is the New Black, which I
watched this entire thing and I cannot remember anything, to be honest with you. All I remember is lesbian stuff, women kissing, women beating each other up, and I think this cop sleeps with one of them or something. Yeah, I remember watching this, like, when did this come out? Orange is the New Black. I think it was like 2014. Yeah, I watched it in like 2014 or 15, and I was like, I mean, I watched all of it, like the entire first season. I was like, I mean, it's something.
Talks about it anymore. That show was so big and no one remembers it.
Yeah, because it was kind of forgettable. I'm serious. Like, it was a big deal, but then everybody forgot about it instantly. I could not tell you what it was fucking about. I know it was about being in a woman's prison. There was a lot of lesbians, and it showed, like, fucking people in jail and stuff, but I couldn't tell you what it was about.
Series helped solidify Netflix as a major studio and cemented the approach of releasing original programming designed to binge watch. Orange is the New Black became even more popular than House of Cards.
Wait, it was a book? What?
Which, once again, why does no one talk about it? It was the first series to ever receive Emmy nominations in comedy and drama categories. It was different than House of Cards in many ways. The lead wasn't a pedophile. And it also didn't have the same star power or same absurd money backing it. But
oh yeah, I remember that character, the freaky character.
Told gritty stories with a dash of humor, often featuring characters that most mainstream TV would never touch. In the 2 years following the release of House of Cards and Orange is the New Black, Netflix subscriptions grew by 24 million. Things were going so well for Netflix that in 2015, they announced that they were planning 20 original shows that they were just going to be dropping. By the time Stranger Things was released in 2016, Netflix was already a major player in Hollywood. But unlike political dramas like House of Cards, or gritty prison drama comedies like Orange is the New Black, but Stranger Things had appeal for everybody. By blending the horror of Stephen King with the sci-fi of Steven Spielberg and throwing it in a blender of 80s nostalgia, the show transcended the streaming wars and became a pop culture juggernaut. From that point,
the problem is that it really fucking fell off after season 3, I think. I think the cinematography fell off. I think the script writing fell off. I think there's a lot of holes that never got fucking fixed. Season 3 was terrible. Yeah, like the ending the ending of season 3 was just ass. Season 1 was peak. Season 2 was fine. Season 3, it was just ass. And then anything onwards from that was like, whoa. I watched the entire season 4 and I was just like, what the fuck?
On, Netflix solidified itself as the lead runner in the streaming wars. But you can't stay on top by just making HBO quality television. Talk to HBO. They're not on top. In addition to top tier original programming like BoJack Horseman, Squid Game, or The Queen's Gambit, Netflix realized
BoJack Horseman was in a league of its own, though. Like, I think it was just so different. That's why it stood out.
That to remain competitive with legacy TV networks, they would have to become more like TV itself. So even while Netflix became a parody of itself with shows that all shared the same dark and saturated, quote, Netflix look.
Yeah, I hate that. It just, nobody has any uniqueness anymore. You can't tell who's the, like, you can just tell it's the same person directing, or they're being told how to color grade and do the cinematography for each single what is it called, each and every single shot, to make it as appealing as possible. Yeah.
Rated quote Netflix
It's
look.
getting
They still
annoying.
needed
Yeah, that's why I think like other studios and stuff like that, they're also ruining their shows to like try and match Netflix's color grading and their choice and just like the shots. There's nothing unique about it. I think Stranger Things was very unique because it did go back to the old style of being colorful, and it had like warm color grading initially. And obviously people are gonna say like, oh well, in the last couple of seasons of Stranger Things, there was some really dark themes, and I'm like, but that doesn't mean you can't like have a parallel where like when they're in the real world as opposed to the upside down, they don't have to have everything gritty, in my opinion. I don't know. Neon too? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it fell off.
Programming that appealed to the masses, aka unscripted
cringe,
TV.
yeah.
The dummies love a little reality.
uniqueness.
Starting with 20 unscripted programs in 2017, Netflix has spent the better part of the last decade slowly ramping up its reality TV production. Now, I already made a whole episode about reality TV, so I'm not going to stand here and bore you with my judgmental rants, because that's all I can do about that. But even within a genre that's the lowest common denominator of entertainment, there are
Jersey Shore, bro. I mean, this isn't Jersey Shore, but like that type of reality TV show drives me insane. When I was a kid, I remember there was a show called like Big Brother or something, and it was in Germany, and they would show that in like Austria and Switzerland and a bunch of other different countries because they could like translate it and recycle it. God, I hated it. It was so boring. Oh my god, I could even as a kid, I could just immediately fucking tell that it was all fake and stupid.
gonna be some extraordinarily bad shows. So even though we talk about Wednesday, Dahmer, or Bridgerton when we talk about Netflix, we have to acknowledge that they've made a lot of, in fact, arguably mostly shitty content. Let's take a gander at all of them, shall we? Because it's fun to make fun of things that I don't like. This is what I like to call the Netflix versus reality speedrun. Go! The Goop Lab. We all know Goop, right?
Oh my god, John Shrine made fun of this. I watched this video on it. It's so stupid. The Goop Lab. Yeah, I really want to explore Jennifer Aniston's, not Jennifer Aniston's, what's her fucking face? They all look the same, no offense. Whatever the fuck her name is, Gwyneth Paltrow? Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow's, I really want to explore her goop.
That dumbass brand that Gwyneth Paltrow made. It's your Karen-esque Mama Bear, do your own research lifestyle site run by Gwyneth Paltrow. They received lots of-
I'm rich as fuck. I have the time and the money to do this shit. Jennifer's way hotter. Yeah, that's true, actually. I shouldn't say that. I just think she's blonde and, you know, that's where I drew it from. Sorry, blonde chicks.
Press in the late 2010s for promoting products like the Yoni eggs, which are these jade eggs you're supposed to put up your hoo-ha. And that's fine, I guess, if you want to get all new agey. But the problem is they were making some pretty whacked out claims about the healing properties of putting jade up your vagina. Even though Paltrow's company admitted to no wrongdoing, it did pay a $1,450,000 settlement, so 2 years
2 vaginal eggs and a mix of essential oils. You're not supposed to put essential oils up your fucking coochie. Your coochie is its own self-lubricating, like, hole. That's why it's a thing, bro.
After the debacle,
I don't want an egg in this trying time. Dude, imagine you're doing a chick. Just imagine for a minute. Imagine, are you imagining right now? I'm imagining. Okay. So imagine you're doing a chick and then all of a sudden you just feel this like plastic thing. You're like, oh, babe, what's that? And she's like, it's my egg. It's my Gwyneth Paltrow goop egg. And you're like, wait, what? Bro!
Netflix decided, hey, you know who we should give a streaming show to? Gwyneth Paltrow. The Goop Lab only aired for 1 season, featuring shows about cold exposure therapy, healing energy, and psychic mediums. And it had many vocal critics who called it irresponsible. One of them is right here. And one incredible headline from Vox, which read, Netflix The Goop Lab pushes flimsy wellness trends, but it's strong on vulvas.
I fucking don't like Vox, man. It's such a clickbait article fucking site. It's actually worse than, I would say, Vice, because at least Vice is so dumb that it's actually kind of funny. Vox is so... like, Vox takes itself too seriously. Yeah, like, Vice is dumb, but I feel like to an extent they know that they're fucking dumb, like, to some extent. Vox is on a different level. Yeah, it insists upon itself.
So it's like, hey, you might die doing these things, but your vagina is gonna be pristine. The weird thing is that the host was Gwyneth Paltrow, who almost made the show watchable until you realize that every episode is one big budget infomercial for snake oil. The next insane show that we're gonna talk about is Sexy Beasts, which, what the f were they thinking? This was
woman show. Women, where you pork monsters. I'm not surprised.
was originally a British show from 2014 that only lasted one season on the BBC.
Yeah, I wonder why.
C3 network. Netflix actually looked at this and said, get 2 more seasons. The premise is simple. 2 people go on a first date, but they're both put in Hollywood caliber makeup. So you might look like a locust, while your date looks like a human dolphin hybrid in the most...
Bro, they even gave it a blowhole. Nah. I'm sorry. No, I'm okay.
terrifying way possible. The most jarring part of Sexy Beast isn't the makeup though, it's the pacing. Each show features new contestants and blows through all 3 dates and a final ceremony in 23 minutes. It's like,
you know what? I don't think this is as egregious as the Gwyneth Paltrow goop. I think it's weird, but at the end of the day, it's so goofy I can't. I actually think that it has some entertainment value. I think that it's not as bad as the Gwyneth Paltrow goop.
The most condensed but most psychedelic version of The Bachelor ever made. Only it's even weirder in a way that it kind of works like a blind date, but instead of meeting someone you've never met before, you never see someone you've never met before. Sadly, the show's premise quickly fades and all that's left is some extremely, incredibly boring people talking to each other. And
yeah, once you take away the costumes, it's boring.
You could imagine, the results are mind-numbing, so that one sucked. So when it comes to dating shows that suck, nothing touches that bar more than Dated and Related. Incest ahoy.
Remember, chat, PayPal will take away your ability to buy hentai figurines from a website and block you and get into legal fights with Japanese legal government. But they'll, you know, sponsor this shit. Just so you know, the West
I mean, it's not as gross as it sounds because obviously this sounds like straight up incest, but it's a show where siblings help their other siblings try and hook up.
No, I'm okay. This is retarded. I have an older sibling. That's fucking weird. Sorry. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know about my brother porking about a chick that I talked to. I'm sorry. I'm just not into that. You can say it's weird. I just think it's strange.
Up with people.
It's weird.
Ew. You know how, like, if you have a sister as a brother, you're like, I just want to help my poor sister get some dick. But the
no, yeah, exactly. He has a sibling, probably. That's why he thinks that.
The worst part of the show isn't watching sexy siblings frolic in their swimsuits or watching as they choose partners for one another to go to sexy dates with. It's the fact that the show's producers made every contestant share a bed with their sibling.
I mean, I don't think that's, I mean, that's fucking weird, but I mean, like, in a dire situation, I could sleep next to my brother. I wouldn't want to, but like, if I had a gun to my head and it was an apocalyptic situation, yeah, I could do it. I would just, like, sleep on the edge of the bed. I wouldn't want to be fucking near that fucking fucker. He also blasts and farts a lot, so no thank you. In a bunk bed? Yeah, in a bunk bed it's different because you're in different separate layers. You're not like touching each other, but yeah. This is fucking weird.
Technically, it's 2 twin-sized beds pushed together, but that, I mean, it's still what it is. Weird. Next up is it cake? You know,
is it a cake? Wait, I saw this on TikTok. They actually made this into an entire series.
But no, I'm not talking about is it cake. That. And the final show on this list is Snowflake Mountain. This reality show was so bad that Netflix didn't even give it a second season, which is saying something. These insufferable young people are tricked by their families into attending a wilderness camp run by an ex-Army combat engineer and ex-Navy bomb squad member. So, you know, chill bros with winning personalities. Basically, the show was a take on that troubled teen industry that I just made a video about, which is pretty tone-deaf, just based on everything I talked about in the last episode. While most people tend to hate watch these shows just to talk shit about how miserable the contestants are, this batch of entitled youth was too gross even for most adamant reality TV fans. should probably give a shout out to Love is Blind for no other reason that they decided to film it in Ohio. There's a new Ohio Love is Blind. Hey, we've run out of places. We don't need to go Ohio. Jesus Christ. But Love is Blind is just another step for Netflix progression from DVD mail rentals to streaming to original programming. It's clear that Netflix is willing to do whatever it takes to cater to consumers' needs. And since so much of their history has helped dictate consumer trends, they're now left with filling customers' needs for the types of programming often—
It's so slop. It's so slop. Buy your big arch. Sit down, consume your slop, don't think about it. Pay us fucking $20 a month to watch slop, and also slop with ads, because if you don't pay $22 a month, then you get ads in your Netflix, by the way. That's a real thing. I've never had Netflix or any other subscription-based website in my life. I think I tried Crunchyroll once and I immediately canceled. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? And yeah, like, I don't know.
Found on those channels, which is why after all the years of Netflix dismantling TV, they are now tasked with recreating it. And I personally pretty bummed about that. TV sucked. I don't want any more of it. Anyway, thank you so—
I'll agree with that. I don't think it's any different from cable TV as we had it. Like, let's be realistic. Jersey Shore was around in like 2011. That shit was slop as fuck. This is not any different from this other slop that they're putting on. It's just that, like, they can't create anything new, so they just like have to go back to just sloppa.
Much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday. And shout out the extra tuglets. There is something in my pocket. 4 videos a week. Oh, no, sorry. 4 videos a month. 6 videos a month sometimes. $4 a month. You get a bunch of cool shit over there. I talk to the audience directly. Oh, it's buttons in my pocket. And you get your name at the end of the video. And you get to help out. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Everything's purple. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Buddy, that's not purple. That's magenta. What is this guy smoking? Did you just say it's purple? Motherfucker's colorblind. Hell no. You should understand. I do understand. That's a lot of togglers. Holy shit. He doesn't know his colors. It looks purple to me. You might have slight color blindness. It's more pink. No, it's magenta-y. It's like pink, kind of like... It's like violet and pink, if that makes sense. I don't know. I wouldn't call it purple. Purple is like purple. It's like Discord's purple, for example. Hey Lana, how do you feel like being well known and well liked on iFunny? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that I was on iFunny. I'm not gonna lie. You hear yourself? What do you mean purple? It's not purple. It's pink and purple. It's magenta. Yeah! Motherfucker! Woman, shut up! Your name is Average White Guy! Didn't ask! What the fuck is a magenta? It's purple. I'm about to smack y'all. Y'all are blind as fuck. Alright, chat. Go check them out.
Oh, yeah.